Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we are going to review all the branches of the SunScorch season and discuss which ones I think are better than others and what I would recommend for you to choose. Now I have defended that Atlas attack, let's get back into it. So, what at the start of the season we had available was two discount branches, which was Krelos and the base boost. So you probably chose between one of those if you were planning to go for a mythic especially, or if you just wanted to optimize the rewards. Now another discount line was Assidious later in the season, which was new to us this season, having a third discount line that came up in week 6. So ideally you would have got or started one of these discount lines and been able to finish it, and then also gotten this other discount line and been able to finish it. So that means that you would have chosen between Krelos and the base boost and then gotten Assidious. I personally feel like Krelos is probably the best legendary dragon of this season, mostly because I feel like Dross struggles against defenders, but he does have some usability. Assidious I didn't find to be very useful, and Zilch, while being able to set up some bases and does appear to have some usability, there are other dragons that can do what he does. And Krelos is a very unique dragon, and it has the ability to complete attacks very, very fast. And so I personally feel like Krelos is a very unique dragon that most people should try to get this season if it's within their ability. Now, if you got Krelos first at the very start of the season while discounted, and then you got Assidious, and you're trying to choose between 1/3 line, then I would probably say that the best third choice is the Crystal Howitzer branch, because it has so many resources that you need for building up your base, including embers and timers specifically, but also electrum bars, which are required for the two new towers, the Crystal Howitzer and the Dracul Pylon. So that would be my go-to for the 3 branches. If you were able to get one of the discount branches at the start, then a second discount branch when Assidious came out, and then your third branch would be the Crystal Howitzer. Now let's say all discounts aside, this becomes more challenging because the base boost does have a lot of good rewards, and Krelos is a very unique dragon. But if you didn't get the base boost at the start of the season, it's probably not worth getting it at this point. So aside from that, I would say definitely get the Crystal Howitzer. Again, I still recommend that Krelos would be obtained by most players because it's a useful dragon for players at all stages. Because I believe Krelos is actually pretty strong, especially at lower tiers, but then the fact that it can make runs so fast for PvP, for PvE, for Atlas, there's so many ways that Krelos comes in as an MVP, or at least in some capacity. So I think Krelos is a key dragon. And then if you gotten only Krelos and the Crystal Howitzer, the next branch that I would choose would potentially be Hugo, depending on what you need. And that's the problem, is this season has so many different options and a lot of good options, and so you really have to decide for yourself what you need. Hugo is a great rider. It gives a lot of HP, it gives a good amount of rage regeneration, it gives some attack, and it's not class specific. It's purely dragon stats. So you can use it on a sorcerer, a warrior, a hunter, an invoker, and you can swap it back and forth and get the full bonus for those dragons as long as the gear you have on is the right class. Now, that is very unique. There's only a few riders out there that can specifically benefit invokers, and this one is great because it gives such good amount of HP. And so check out my Hugo review video for more details on that. But definitely I think Hugo is a good rider to obtain. Dross, again, I didn't find him to be very interesting or useful for me. Judith, you can watch my review on that, but no interest in getting Judith. And then it comes down to these newer branches that we talked about in another recent video, so go check that out as well. But Zilch, while having some unique usability and ability to set up bases, doesn't do it as good as other dragons does. But if you're a newer player and you want a unique fun dragon that you might be able to use to help hit stronger bases, Zilch is a good option. And the pylon, the Dracul pylon branch, we talked about this in detail in another video, but basically, if you were to choose between the Crystal Howitzer and the Dracul pylon, the Crystal Howitzer is by far better. But if you've already obtained the Crystal Howitzer and you really want more timers and more elemental embers and more electrum bars, the Dracul pylon is a great option. It has so many resources for building up your base, which is a huge stopping point for a lot of players as they get to higher levels. It's hard to get those resources to continue to progress. So, in my opinion, Zilch is a branch that you could consider going for. The Dracul pylon is a great branch after you've obtained the Crystal Howitzer branch. I would avoid Assidious if you didn't already invest in him during the discount, but as a discount choice, I got him because it's half price reward, so definitely a good option. But now that the discount is gone, not one I would recommend. Judith, I would not recommend for the majority of players, and those who it might benefit probably don't need my guidance. Krelos, definitely recommend this dragon. If you can get him, if you don't have him already, it's a great choice. The base boost is a great branch for the start of the season if you are able to invest in multiple discount branches especially, but it gives a lot of base building resources and helps to increase the defense of your base throughout the season. Dross is plus or minus. I can understand the appeal because he's an interesting invoker, has setup potential to help set up a base, but for me it didn't have the survivability and it didn't have the solo potential that I would hope for in a dragon. And then Hugo, a pretty good rider. I think that this is a good one if you're looking for a solid rider, especially if you don't have Atlas. Hugo is a great option. So those are kind of my opinions on all the branches. Hopefully that helps you choose. Now for me, I'm pushing for 2 mythics this season, so I have to decide which branches I'm going to get. Usually it just means you get all the branches, but we have a lot of extra branches this season in particular. So I got Krelos and the base boost at the start of the season. Then I saved all my sigils to get Assidious when he was on discount. And then I invested into the Crystal Howitzer. I am not quite finished that branch yet, but I will be completing that branch. And then that leaves me needing 2 more full branches and then a little bit extra to get the remaining keys. So what am I going to choose? 2 branches that I think are more important to me. Definitely Hugo. I'm going to get Hugo. I haven't decided exactly who I'm going to put him on yet, but definitely a solid rider. And so I'm going to go for Hugo, and I'm going to get the Dracul Pylon branch because it has so many resources for base building. It is disappointing that it does not have the gold chests like the Crystal Howitzer branch does, but it does have, hey look, a platinum chest at the end, that's nice. It does have a lot of embers, black pearls, electrum bars, which will be helpful going forward, but mainly the speed ups, the timers here are what I want because there are so many timers in this branch, just like in the Crystal Howitzer branch, that are very critical for helping advance your base forward and continuing to level up faster. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the Dracul Pylon and Hugo. And then I'm going to probably have to grab a couple keys from, I'll probably just grab the first key from Judith, and if I need another one, the first key from Dross or from Zilch. Probably Zilch, because I think he'll be a little bit more fun and I can do a little bit of gameplay at very low levels. But that's pretty much my plan for finishing off this season. I am going to have to spend some rubies on super sigil chests to make that happen, but then I can claim Lockjaw in addition to Howazine, who I've already claimed. Still waiting to see what these mystery prizes will be, so I'll make a video when that comes out. But I'm looking forward to having Lockjaw. I will probably actually put Xandra, the Atlas Rider, on Lockjaw to play around with it because of that really high rage regeneration, as well as the good, fairly decent attack stats for a warrior, especially like Lockjaw. I feel like needs that extra attack, and that extra rage will be very useful to help continue chaining on spells. So that's really my plan, and I'll make a video comparing Lockjaw and Howazine, but it's such a hard thing. It's not really a clear-cut answer. It really depends on what you have available to you, what you prefer, and what you think you'll have more fun with, because both of them are such great mythics. This season, I think they did a really good job, and that's why I'm pushing for both of them. So I hope this video was helpful to help guide your final decisions and what to do with your sigils for the remainder of this season. There are 23 days left, so we do have a fair bit of time to go. And so I'll be making some more videos. Keep an eye out for that, and good luck with the rest of the season. I'll see you in the next video.